So, welcome to Let's Get Real. This is something that Chris and I had talked about, and we thought, how do we do more with our YouTube channel? And you know what? We're very opinionated people. So, there's several conversations, and as you guys know, we just got back from driving to California and back. And when you're stuck in a car for at minimum 8 hours a day, you tend to have really good conversations, and we like each other. So go figure.
We talk about everything.
So we decided that we wanted to start a new segment called Let's Get Real, where we just talk about anything. And honestly, one of the first things that we wanted to talk about was the new Star Wars movie, because I went and I saw it, and then that night I came home and I told Kristen, I was like, dude, you have got to go see this movie with me. So we are going to be sharing some spoilers. If you have not seen the movie yet, don't watch the vlog. As much as I want you to stick around, you can still thumbs up it and then come on back and watch it after you see the movie, but we're gonna give our opinion on that.
This is something that we want to start doing on a regular basis. Do me a favor and go ahead and let us know in the comment section below a topic that you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, we're not gonna do politics and we're not gonna do religion, because that seems to be the most sensitive subjects for people to talk about, and we get it, we totally get it. But out of respect for people and where they're at mentally, we don't wanna challenge people down below and then get rude comments and all that kind of fun stuff. So, we good?
We're good.
Okay, all right, so welcome to Let's Get Real.
Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano.
Okay, so Star Wars, The Last Jedi. I hope that you saw this because, again, we're going to give away some spoilers, but we're also going to talk about some of the things that we really enjoyed, and we're going to talk about some of the things that we didn't enjoy. I'm going to let Kristen go ahead and go first, because I think that she's probably the most enthusiastic about seeing the movie. It was fun because in the movie theater, there are several times, I'll give this much away, where Kristen had her arms up, and I was sitting next to her like, yeah, I know, right? That's awesome. So let's talk about, why don't we talk about the good first, and then we'll talk about the bad.
The good, I will tell you that I absolutely love Adam Driver. I think that he is phenomenal as a whole, but I think he is like absolutely breathtaking in The Last Jedi. And I love Kylo Ren's character. I love Darth Vader, but
Kylo Ren's cool.
Kylo Ren's like, he's like the best of both worlds, because there's still like best of both worlds. Because he's still got a little bit of light with the dark, and so like there's still that part of me that's like, please, 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 like be good, be good. But like I really like it when he's bad.
If you guys don't know this by now, Kristen's favorite characters from all the, you know, as a Disney family, she loves Maleficent. You love
the Evil Queen.
Snow White and the Evil Queen. Something wrong with you. You're broken. So let's start at the beginning. When the scroll first started, for me, now I do want to preface it by saying this much. Like, I seriously think I am a Star Wars fan. I'd say I'm pretty die-hard, but I'm not like Star Wars everything. You know, like
I am not.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars, and that's where it gets cut off for me. I think I got maybe like 1 or 2 Star Wars shirts, but like that's the level of, like, I like to watch the movies and super
You're
fan.
not like super...
I'm not a super fan. I'm like...
So that being said, like, I think from our point of view, it might be a little bit different than other people. I understand that there were a lot of people that didn't like the movie. And I am in agreement in some of the common areas, I think, where people were a little bit frustrated. But overall, this Star Wars is probably, to me, it is the best Star Wars film made in the last 30 years. I mean, because like the original, like for me it goes, I'm your common Empire Strikes Back guy. I loved A New Hope. I mean, I can only imagine what it was like for people that saw when Darth Vader revealed that he was, major spoiler here if you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back, Luke's father. I would have been, there's only one movie that's ever done that to me, and it's Sixth Sense, when Bruce Willis, when you realize that he's a ghost. I was like in the audience, I'm looking around like, am I the only person that missed this? Did you guys get this? I can only imagine what that was like, and I think that The Last Jedi is the closest thing to The Empire Strikes Back. Awesome job by Rian Johnson. I know that when J.J. Abrams made the last movie, people were nervous about it going over to Rian. I know that he did Looper, which is a fantastic movie, and I honestly feel like this movie felt more in line with the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6. There were some parts, I'll talk about the parts that I didn't like. I didn't like the CGI when they went to the casino. I really had a hard time with that. I didn't care for the animals that they were riding, and I just felt like it was kind of like the pod races meets that ridiculous scene in episode 2 where Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman are riding that thing, and he's just kind of surfing it, and he falls, and it looked much better than that, but that was probably my least favorite scene. And then some of the other CGI throughout the movie, but I thought that Rian did a fantastic job. I think that as a director, Rian Johnson did a better job than J.J. Abrams working with Carrie Fisher, because I liked Carrie Fisher so much more in this one, and Adam Driver. I was not a big fan of Adam Driver in the last film. I thought he was okay, kind of whiny, almost like Hayden Christensen-ish. Not that bad. But I think that like this movie overall, just phenomenal. So now that I went on my rant, what did you dislike about the movie?
I really only disliked one thing, and that was Kylo Ren telling Rey that her parents are nobody and that she's nothing, because I think that was a lie. I still think that's a lie, and I really wanted to know who her parents are. And like, I'm gonna go on a little tangent for a second, because so at first I was convinced that they might have been brother and sister, but not twins, that like maybe like Leia had a baby with somebody other than
Oh no.
But like after they weren't together, because obviously they were not together for an extended amount of time, right? Like Han and Leia.
Yeah, but I think that they're kind of closer in age, but I get where you're going. I mean, I think that
So at some point they separated, that's all I'm trying to say. And so like maybe that's when it happened.
No.
But then there was part of me that was like, when they were like touching hands and stuff, like when they were linked, but they weren't together, I was like, oh, please make awesome Force babies. And like, but like, and then if they're brother and sister, that's gross, so they can't be. But like, I don't know, I'm like, please make Force babies.
You were like, you've watched too much Game of Thrones.
I know.
But what did you dislike about the movie?
That's it.
That's it? That's it?
That's really it.
No
like
scenes in particular or anything?
No, because outside of like, the difference between me and Scott is, like I said, I'm not a super fan, so I just appreciate the movies, and I think this movie was very beautiful and well done cinematically, but it was also full of so many character elements and things that appealed to every generation, and that as a mother, I could appreciate like the casino scene because it was entertaining for our kids. And so there's not anything that I didn't like, because I could see it from every angle of every person, and I think that that's why the new Star Wars films are so good, is because Disney has their hands on them, and I think Disney does a fantastic job at everything, and so...
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
No, well said. I'm just, like, you're such a Disney fan that it's like, Disney owns Star Wars? Okay, I like Star Wars.
That's why Marvel is so much better than DC too, just so you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. DC films suck. All right, so the things that a couple of things that like I absolutely loved, and then obviously when we went together the second time, it was clear that I couldn't wait for certain scenes to come up, because I knew Kristen was going to be like, oh my gosh. So what I want to do is I want to give my 3 favorite scenes. It's almost fitting having Paige sit up behind. She's kind of like something out of Star Wars that just kind of peeks up from time to time. So I want to give my 3 favorite, three favorite things in the movie. So the first scene that I really, really, really enjoyed, I loved when Yoda showed up.
How could do not like that.
When the camera was panning and you see Luke and he's going up to the tree of knowledge and you see the back of Yoda's head, I like literally took a breath. I was like, oh, our first Force ghost. I thought it was the coolest thing because I was just like, dude, like who are they gonna bring back? And there were so many rumors like Christian Haydenson was gonna come back. And
Christian Haydenson.
What's his name?
Hayden Christensen.
That's how much I dislike the guy. Let's just call him Anakin Skywalker, okay? So you see the back of Yoda's head, and when Luke kind of stops and he turns around and he feels his presence and they have their conversation, I'm just like, oh my gosh. It was kind of, there's a scene that, it was a little silly when Yoda was laughing and kind of stomping his feet, but it was also sort of like...
But see, here's the thing, that like the coolest part about it was that it was puppet Yoda and not CGI Yoda.
Yeah,
that was what was amazing.
So another scene that I absolutely loved was when Kylo Ren and Rey were fighting the guards after Kylo Ren had killed Snoke. And I love how that whole thing played itself out because I do agree with some of the fan theories that I've watched on YouTube and read online. I think Snoke was telling him what to do through that process. We won't get really deep in all that, the fan theories and all those kind of things, but I believe that happens for a purpose that we'll find out. We'll find out more about in episode 9. But I think that scene is just so great, and that was one of those moments where you put your hands up.
I was.
And like, I think if we were alone, like Kristen would have screamed at the top of her lungs and just been so excited.
It was like watching the World Series, except.
Well, when your team was, yeah. Dodgers. We won't talk about that. And then I loved one of the final scenes with Luke Skywalker when he projected himself. We got to see some new Jedi tricks, which was super rad. Leia, her part where she was moving through space. The first time I saw it, I kind of had a little bit of a hard time with it. It was very emotional because of the obvious, Carrie's passing. So that scene was at first a little bit weird for me, and then the second time seeing it, I was like, okay, I can handle this. But I think that the scene at the end where Skywalker and Kylo Ren have their little battle, the shot where Skywalker's on one side, Kylo Ren's on the other, and they're out there in the field, I'm just like, this was beautifully shot. And honestly, like, I'm a big J.J. Abrams fan, but I feel like Rian Johnson did a better job in episode 8 than J.J. Abrams.
And I think that's unfair to say because I think that episode 8 has a much better storyline. So my top 3 favorite scenes,
yes,
was not necessarily, my number 1 favorite scene is not necessarily when Rey and Kylo Ren fought the guards together. It was literally when he killed Snoke. Because in the moment, like, he's so like,
manipulative.
No, like Kylo Ren is like so like
handsome.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for. He's just so like distraught inside, and you could see it on his face, and that's why he's so like. That's why Adam Driver's brilliant. It was a very reminiscent of the pain and the anguish you could see on his face when he killed Han Solo in episode 7. So like when he did it, I truly believed he was going to the light. And then afterwards,
oh my gosh, it's happening.
And I was like, it's happening! And then like when it didn't happen that way, I had this like moment where I was like, he didn't do it for her, he did it for himself because he wants to make it his own thing. And then part of me was really excited about that because I'm like, yeah, like, why can't you have both? Why can't you believe both light and bad? Because like, that's the best of both worlds in my opinion, because then I can like Skywalker and Vader. Whatever.
Because you always root for the bad guy.
A little, I do. I'm sorry. So then my second favorite scene was definitely at the opening sequence, the opening fighting, when Kylo Ren is coming in and he's blasting on the Resistance, and he has that moment where he hesitates and he's like, my mom's inside of this ship, right before she gets blown out into space. And she has the same reflection inside, like, I know my son's out there and he might kill me right now, or he might die. And as a mom, it was very good. It was very, very good. So brilliant. And I cried, guys. Out of all the films in all the world, I never thought that a Star Wars movie would make me cry, and I cried multiple times.
That's why I love you.
Yeah. And then my third favorite scene was also when Yoda showed up. I was just like, yes, like
spitting on the people in the row in front.
No, I was like, yeah. Like, this is so cool. I might have used, I used swear words to show.
You did? I didn't hear that.
I did. It wasn't like an, oh my gosh, I'm so excited moment. It was like a, yeah, kind of thing. So like expletives might have been appropriate.
So why don't you give everybody your final impression of the movie? I mean, of all the Star Wars films, how did you feel this one lays out? And then also, in comparison to the other ones, but also how do you, like, as an overall, without Star Wars being in the title, where do you put this up against other films?
So I will say it's my favorite Star Wars film out of any of them, and like that's sacrilege. I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm not a super fan, so I don't care. Mostly because of all the different emotions. Like I literally cried 5, 6, 7 times. But there was also happy and down and like edge of my seat kind of thing. And I really do think that the cinematography was beautiful. And there was moments where so many different things were happening and they were all colliding together. And it was amazing. And the score was beautiful. It was so good. The music was amazing. I did have a moment when Kylo Ren was coming out to fight holographic Luke Skywalker, and you know I expected to hear Vader's march, and I was like, but this is not Vader, this is Kylo Ren. And what came with it was so appropriate and so it modeled it so well. It was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very,
like, was it reminiscent?
It was reminiscent, but it was very complimentary to Vader's march, and so. You know, like that was a moment that I went, oh my gosh, like the music has meant so much to me.
It might have been like Kylo's song. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember, to be honest, like what his song sounds like. I mean, everybody's familiar, obviously, with the John Williams score and everything that came from the original trilogy. And I did want to add to that. I think that there were several scenes where I was like, oh my gosh, like the music was not only the John Williams stuff, but there were it was so appropriate. Like when they're flying through the crystals and everything, it was reminiscent of Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back and Star Tours at Disneyland. Like it just felt like everything felt right. And I think that, like, you know, one of the things about Rogue One was a lot of the tight shots, like in the X-Wing and things like that. Like everything kind of felt like the original trilogy, and I really felt like Rian Johnson nailed that in this movie. It moved, it transitioned so well, and there were so many things where it was almost like Rian had a little bit of a different vision of where this should go. And I am so interested to see episode 9 because I feel like J.J. Abrams coming back is going to have his hands full and trying to move with the consistency of episode 8. I'm sorry, I started taking over this is your wrap up.
That's it.
I'll be quiet.
That's my wrap. I mean, I will say that it is definitely a movie that I'm excited to watch again. I do feel like I could watch it multiple times and not get bored of it. And that's, you know, I've got some of my favorite movies are not super high quality movies. They're movies that I could literally sit down and watch over and over and over and over again. And I feel like this is one of those movies because it made me feel good. I was not overwhelmed or disappointed by anything, and I didn't go, God, that was stupid.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out on VHS. I'm really excited about that.
I asked you not to be stupid. Do you remember that?
I can't help it.
That's it. That's my wrap up.
Well, good. I put it there alongside Empire Strikes Back. I honestly do. And I don't care what the haters have to say about this movie. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? Luke Skywalker is awesome. I don't care. You be a Jedi Master and then tell me.
Yeah, because it's real.
Whatever.
I do. I think this is it's up there with Empire Strikes Back. It is definitely my favorite Star Wars film that has taken place since the original trilogy. I might even like it more than Return of the Jedi. I feel like I come from that generation. I played with the Star Wars toys. I still have a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
My dad used to try and get us to watch it on VHS, and no, was not going to happen. But then when episodes 1, 2, and 3 were going to be released, and they released 4, 5, and 6 in the theaters, my dad was like, shut up, stop being dumb, you're coming to the movie theater, and you're going to sit down and watch it. And then I was like, I kind of get it. And then we watched episodes 1, 2, and 3, and I liked all of them, but I was a teenager. I mean, I was not interested in watching an old space film. That's what I thought.
We don't talk about episode 1, 2, and 3 around here.
I like 1, 2, and 3, but again, different.
Yeah. I'm old. I appreciate the classics. So I put this movie up against anything that came out in 2017. It's beautifully well orchestrated, and for a Star Wars film, it is a fantastic movie. Would love to hear your feedback. Would love to know what you guys thought of the movie, and then would love to know, in comparison to the other Star Wars films, which Star Wars film is your favorite and which is your least favorite. Hopefully.
Can I say what made me cry the hardest?
Sure.
Can I please?
Yeah.
When Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia had their one and only scene together, and he tells her that he's not going out there to fight him, to bring him back, I should say. Yeah. And she says, you know, like, I already know he's gone. And he says, no one's really ever gone. Like, because she's, you know, Carrie Fisher's she has really passed away.
Wait, what?
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 Stop it. Oh. You know, like, and then he puts Han's, what are those, like the little
dice.
The dice, and when he put those in her hand and like walked away, and she's looking at him and she holds him in her hand, and he like, that no one's ever really gone again, like that is so prevalent. And I was just,
well, she was so appreciative of him giving her the dice that she left them there on the floor for Kylo Ren to find later,
so that he would get tripped up and be like, the struggle with the light and the dark again. That's what it was. Come on.
All right, it's genius. Anyway,
that was one. I was weeping. I was not like, oh, a little crying. It was like.
It's okay. I got teary-eyed right when the scroll started. As soon as I heard, oh, here we go. So, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Next week, we do have a couple ideas of what we'd like to talk about. But again, if you've got ideas and you'd love to hear us talk about a couple things, leave that down below. It's not always going to be about movies. It's going to be about life. It's going to be about, you know, whatever happens to be going on. And that's it. So I had fun. I hope that you guys did too. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you do. Come on back, circle around, check out our channel trailer, check out some of our other vlogs, hang out with our family because we're pretty cool.
And I just want to add that the coolest part about you leaving us a suggestion for a topic to talk about is that when we pick your idea, we're going to let everybody know that it was your topic that we picked. So you get a shout out just by leaving us a comment. Like, how cool is that? And don't get discouraged if we don't pick yours. We've got multiple weeks of this that we can keep doing. So please communicate with us. Please interact with us, because I think that's where we're going to get our best topics is...
You know what'd be really cool? Is if I didn't sit where I'm sitting on top of my leg right now. My leg is completely asleep.
Hey, look, there's our dog's butt.
All right, thanks for chilling, guys. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.